Alright, well, it is Christmas Day, and I have gotten some other gifts and stuff, so I am going to clean my sewing machine and put it away real quick. I'll clean it quickly and put it away so that I can do other things. But remember, when I cleaned it the other time on the channel, I did not have my oil out, but I got my sewing machine oil out, so I'm going to put a dab of oil in here. And I haven't sewed much with it since I had it out the last time, so I'm really just going to place one drop on the back side of this hook. And oh, come on. There. Get that set back in place, and I'll put one drop on this front side of this race here and set it in there. Rotate it a little bit to make sure it spreads all that around, and also I'm going to put and my oil thing is very come on. Oh, the camera's not even pointed at this. Okay. Well, as you can see in the footplate there is a hole, and I believe that's an oil location. So I'm just going to put a drop of oil in there, and then I need to take the top of the machine off real quick and point the camera at that to show where I'll oil in the top of the machine. Okay, so there, that's better. So the top of my machine has two screws in it, one here behind the presser foot adjustment and one over here by the bobbin winder. I thought I had loosened these before I turned the camera on, but apparently I didn't get that one all the way out. Those two screws hold the top. Oh right, there's a third screw. I always forget. Like, every machine has its screws in different locations to hold this top cover on. And there, 3 screws. Now the top cover just slides off there, and the bobbin winder, you could oil this without taking the cover off, but I like to oil that spot there, which is below the cover. And then there's a oil hole in the top of here, and there, I hit that one. So there's an oil hole by the belt drive, by the wheel here, an oil hole there, and then an oil hole on the top of this adjustment screw that goes to there, and oh, I'm going to move that back there. There's an oil hole on the top of the needle bar there, and you need to put a dab of oil on top of the needle bar as well. So the oil on the top of this rod gets the joint in there, and then putting a drop of oil on top of the needle bar itself lets it go down through the holes that the needle bar is aligned through. So that the needle will continue to slide up and down vertically. And because I'm putting my machine away, I am oiling it a little much, but that will keep it from locking up. And by oiling it a bit much, I'm putting 2 or 3 drops in a location that takes 1. Because when I used to, and I did that refurb on the channel here, but I used to work at a thrift store, and we would get machines in all the time that the main issue with them is that they just sat so long that they would the oil, and they hadn't been oiled properly before they were put away, that they would seize up. And it was just a question of very carefully oiling them and very carefully wiggling them until they started to move, and then oiling them and working them until they would move freely again. Because old mechanical sewing machines are all mechanically timed, and as long as you're careful that you don't force the mechanics out of the way, you can usually loosen them up and they will work relatively well pretty quickly again. So, but that was a quick oiling of the machine before I put it away for an unknown amount of time.